Hey guys, today we're gonna check out how the new Sanguinesti Staff compares to the Trident of the Swamp at Zulrah. It's been a good couple of months since the staff has come out, and I guess the price is kinda stabilized, so I'm not too afraid of losing money on it. As you know, the magic accuracy bonus on both the items is the same, but the max hit of the Sanguinesti Staff with the max gear is 43 compared to the 41 with the Trident of the Swamp. But what gives the new staff an edge over its predecessor is that there's a chance that it heals you for half of the damage that you deal to your enemy, and that's really helpful in Zulrah, to the point that I can get 11 to 13 kills in one single inventory compared to the 5 to 7 with the Trident of the Swamp. Now, even if we were to compare the two by taking the lower end of the former and the higher end of the latter, there is still an increase of 4 kills per trip, which cuts down the amount of time you need to bank by around 50%. That means you can get an average of about 2 more kills per hour at the cost of using a Serp Helm and 50% more rune cost per cast. So one cast of the Sanguinesti Staff costs 3 blood runes, which by current prices costs about 978 GP. And as for the Trident of the Swamp, each cast uses 1 Zulrah scale, 1 Chaos rune, 1 Death rune, and 5 Fire runes, which by current prices comes to 659 GP. And if I am not wrong, that's 48% increase in cost per cast. So all it comes down to is whether using the new staff is worth it. So let's find out. So as you can see, this is my Zulrah setup with the new Sanguinesti staff. I'm using the Serpentine helmet here because the staff lets me stay alive for much longer than 7 kills, which is usually when 4 doses of anti-venom get over. And carrying an extra anti-venom with a 9-way switch leaves me with very little inventory spots for food and other supplies, but the Serpentine helm will definitely increase the cost of killing Zulrah. I've always used fairy rings over Zulrah scrolls because for me personally, the extra inventory spot is much more valuable than the extra 20 seconds I waste to get to the spot. I'm sure many may disagree with my method, but this is what I'm comfortable with for now. I may experiment with this in the future due to the insane results of the stuff, so let's see how this goes. I usually use Vengeance before I enter the instant zone, so I have another Vengeance ready in case Zulrah decides to hit me twice with the range attack. It significantly increases the DPS. So from here I'm just gonna fast forward the clip because everyone has seen people kill Zulrah and it doesn't make for very entertaining content to watch. So enjoy the insanely sped up clip of me killing Zulrah. So I'm just gonna be testing this out for 1 hour. 1 hour with the Sanguinesti staff and 1 hour with the Trident of the Swamp. Let's see what the results are. I'm not going to be taking into account what loot I get, rather I'm just going to take into account how many kills I get with each in the given hour. So the only thing you could watch in these clips is the health bar. Look at the health orb on the top right. It just keeps on increasing. That is the power of the new Sanguinesti staff. It just keeps on healing, and if you get lucky and say get a heal proc on a 40 damage or a 43 damage, you're gonna be healing say 21 or 22. I don't know what it rounds up to, but yeah. I hope you guys do know that this test has been done with almost max gear, the only exception being the dark bow. I know a lot of people love to use the dark bow, but I personally prefer the toxic blowpipe spec over the dark bow spec, and that is for two reasons. One, the toxic blowpipe provides you with heals. The spec provides you with heals, and that is really beneficial if you're going for more kills per inventory. And the other reason, the if you want to use the dark bow in the ammo slot, you have to keep your arrows, and you lose out on the prayer bonus of the blessings. And I personally prefer the prayer bonus over the dark bow. So that's all. This is the dreaded moment. This is the moment where I die. I didn't really want to put this up on the video because it's kinda embarrassing that I died to Zulrah after having over 5,000 kills on it. But I had to show this, otherwise it would really skew the results in the end. So I measured the time that I took after dying to go back to Zulrah, gather my supplies and re-gear and just go back. It took me about 2 minutes and 44 seconds, so I guess that information will come handy when I'm calculating the end profit per hour. This is my gear and inventory setup with the Trident of the Swamp. As you can see, I'm carrying a 9-way switch with an anti-venom plus since I'm not taking my serpentine helm. This is going to be significantly cheaper than using a Sanguinesti Staff and the Serp helm. Of that I'm very sure. But is the cheaper working cost worth losing 2 to 3 kills per hour over? We'll find out by the end of this video. So I do have to tell you guys that I had 2 failed kills this hour, which probably costed me about 90 seconds, and that time could have definitely gotten me at least 1 more kill. But mistakes are bound to happen when you're killing Zulrah for hours, so I'm not going to factor in the few inconsistencies of these 2 hours of testing during the final calculation. Now this is the end of my 1 hour with the Trident of the Swamp, so let's jump right to the conclusion of the video to see if the Sanguinesti Staff is worth it. Now to calculate the costs. I ended up using, while using the Sanguinesti Staff, 704 casts of the staff, 660 Zulrah skills in the Serphelm, 219 recoil charges, 14 manta rays, 2 carambans, 5 anglerfishes, 12 super Easter potions, 2 ranging potions, 67 vengeance casts, 100 rune darts, and 2 Sarabros. This brings our total supply cost to 1.2 million. With 29 kills per hour and an average kill price of 174k, this brings our total profit to 5 million, making our profit per hour after deducting supply costs to 3.8 million. Now let's see how this compares to the Trident of the Swamp. With the Trident of the Swamp, I ended up using 604 casts, 85 rune darts, 237 rings of recoils, 46 manta rays, 4 karambans, 11 anglerfishes, 11.5 prayer potions, 3 ranging potions, 4 anti-venoms, and 59 casts of vengeance. This brings our total supply cost to around 828k. With 26 kills per hour and an average kill price of 174k, this brings our total profit to 4.5 million, making our profit per hour after deducting supply costs to about 3.7 million. So the Sanguinesti Staff at 3.8 mil profit per hour and the Trident of the Swamp at 3.7 million profit per hour, the difference in GP per hour is pretty negligible. And if anyone was wondering how much I managed to make in those 2 hours, I made a total of 17.5 million. I got pretty lucky. So to conclude, I believe the Sanguinesti Staff is worth its price, sitting at around 160 million as of now, because even though the difference in GP per hour is negligible, for someone who is just here to hunt the pet like me, it's worth it. But I'll let you guys decide for yourself. And as for the Trident of the Swamp, it's much more chill to kill Zulrah with because you aren't constantly risking on low HP like you have to do with the Sanguinesti Staff. But I personally don't mind the more intensive way. So this was my first video ever. I hope this helped someone out. If you guys want me to make an in-depth efficient Zulrah killing guide, please let me know in the comments. And until then,
Bye.